Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up, sit on the edge of your bed, and think to yourself, now what? Maybe you don't have to rush off to work anymore. Maybe the kids are grown and busy with their own lives. Suddenly, the days feel longer, and you find yourself wondering how to fill them in a way that keeps you both healthy and happy. It's a strange mix of freedom and uncertainty. On one hand, you finally have time for yourself. On the other, that wide-open schedule can sometimes feel overwhelming. Here's the good news: creating a simple structure for your day doesn't mean turning life into a rigid checklist. It's about giving yourself a gentle rhythm, one that keeps your body strong, your mind sharp, and your spirit joyful. Think of it as building a daily framework that supports the life you want to live, rather than weighing you down with obligations. When you wake up with a plan, even a light and flexible one, your day feels more purposeful. And purpose, at any age, is a powerful ingredient for happiness. Let's start with the mornings, because how you begin the day often sets the tone for everything that follows. After 70, mornings can either be your greatest ally or your greatest challenge. If you wake up slowly, stiff from sleep, and spend the first hour moving sluggishly, it's easy for that low energy to carry through the day. But if you start with a few mindful habits, you'll notice a remarkable difference. One of the simplest and most effective things you can do is to greet the morning with movement. I don't mean anything extreme, no need for push-ups or running laps around the block. Even gentle stretches in bed or a short walk around your living room can wake up your muscles and joints. Imagine it as telling your body, "Good morning, it's time to get going." A friend of mine, who just turned 74, swears by her 5-minute stretching routine. She keeps it simple, lifting her arms overhead, rolling her shoulders, and gently bending side to side. She says it not only loosens her body but also clears her mind. And while you're moving, don't forget to hydrate. Many people don't realize that our bodies become more prone to dehydration as we age. A glass of water first thing in the morning can work wonders, almost like oiling the gears of a machine. It helps with digestion, circulation, and even alertness. Think of it as the simplest medicine you can give yourself every day. Breakfast, too, is an opportunity to set yourself up for success. It's tempting to grab toast or skip it altogether, but your body deserves a little more care. A balanced breakfast with some protein, like eggs or yogurt, alongside fruit or whole grains, provides steady energy instead of a quick spike and crash. I know someone who began adding oatmeal with berries to her mornings. She told me it kept her full, gave her more energy for her morning walks, and even helped improve her digestion. It's a small change, but it made a big difference in her daily routine. Once your morning is in motion, the next step is deciding what you want your day to hold. At 70, it's not about filling every minute with tasks. It's about balancing activities that feed your body, mind, and heart. Some people like to think of their day in 3 pillars: something physical, something mental, and something social. That way, no matter what, you've touched on the things that keep you whole. For the physical, it could be as simple as a walk, gardening, or light exercise at home. For the mental, maybe you read a book, do a crossword, or learn something new. And for the social, even a short phone call with a friend or a chat with a neighbor counts. When you gently weave these elements into your day, life feels fuller, more balanced. But here's an important lesson: don't confuse structure with busyness. Your day doesn't need to be crammed from morning till night. The beauty of this stage of life is that you get to choose. Structure should feel supportive, not stressful. You want to wake up with a sense of direction, but still leave space for spontaneity, rest, and joy. Now, you may be thinking, this all sounds great, but what about those days when I just don't feel like doing anything? And that's natural. We all have days like that. The trick is to build in small, non-negotiable habits that keep you moving forward even on low-energy days. For example, maybe it's as simple as a 5-minute stretch, 1 glass of water, and a short walk to the mailbox. By keeping the bar manageable, you're more likely to stick with it, and those little actions still add up to better health and mood. Another helpful tool is to create rituals that bring you joy. Rituals are like anchors; they ground you and make each day feel special. It could be brewing a fresh pot of coffee and enjoying it by the window. It could be listening to your favorite music while preparing lunch. It could even be writing in a journal each evening, reflecting on one thing you're grateful for. These little rituals may seem small, but over time, they weave together into a life that feels rich and meaningful. As you think about how to structure your day, ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What gives me energy? What calms me down when I feel restless? Let those answers guide you. This isn't about following someone else's schedule, it's about creating your own. After all, this is your time, your life, and your happiness. Now that we've touched on the importance of mornings and setting a foundation for the day, let's continue exploring how the rest of your daily structure can bring you lasting health and happiness. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. As the morning slowly gives way to midday, this is often the point where energy naturally dips a little. You might feel that familiar slump, and it can be tempting to sit in front of the television for hours or to push yourself to keep going without pausing. But here's the truth. How you handle the middle of your day can make all the difference between feeling drained and sluggish or staying energized and uplifted until evening. One of the most important pieces in the puzzle is movement. After 70, sitting for too long becomes one of the sneakiest habits that chips away at health. It's not just about the stiffness in your joints, but also about circulation, balance, and even mood. The body simply wasn't designed to be still for hours on end. That doesn't mean you need to start running marathons or hitting the gym every day. It's about weaving gentle, enjoyable movement into your afternoon rhythm. For some people, this might mean a short walk after lunch. Even 10 or 15 minutes outside can do wonders, not just for your body, but for your mind. The fresh air, the sunlight, the sound of birds, or even just waving hello to a neighbor can completely shift your mood. I know a man in his late 70s who takes a slow walk to the corner store every afternoon. He calls it his reset button. By the time he's back home, he feels refreshed and ready to take on the rest of his day. Of course, not every day is perfect for walking outside. Some days the weather may keep you indoors, but that doesn't mean you have to be still. A few stretches in the living room, light chair exercises, or even dancing to your favorite music can lift your energy and help your body feel alive. The key is consistency, making gentle movement a natural part of your daily flow rather than a once-in-a-while activity. Alongside movement, another cornerstone of a happy afternoon is nourishment. Lunch doesn't have to be elaborate, but it should give your body the steady fuel it needs. Think simple, colorful meals, salads with a bit of protein, a hearty vegetable soup, or a sandwich with whole grain bread and fresh ingredients. The goal is balance. Too heavy a meal can leave you feeling drowsy, while too little can leave you restless and craving sweets. And here's something many people overlook: hydration throughout the afternoon. By this point in the day, it's easy to forget to drink water, especially if you've already had your morning coffee or tea. But a hydrated body is an energized body. A glass of water or even herbal tea can perk you up more gently and more effectively than another cup of coffee. Beyond food and movement, the afternoons are also a wonderful opportunity to nurture your mind. After 70, keeping your brain active is just as important as keeping your body moving. That doesn't mean it has to be complicated or academic. It could be something as joyful as working on a puzzle, reading a few chapters of a book, learning a new recipe, or even practicing a few words in another language. These small challenges keep your brain firing, your memory sharp, and your confidence strong. I remember a woman I met at a community center who began learning to play the piano at age 72. She said it wasn't about becoming a musician, it was about keeping her brain curious and her heart excited. Every afternoon, she practiced for half an hour. She laughed that some days she only managed to stumble through a song, but she noticed that her memory improved, her mood brightened, and she had something to look forward to each day. Social connection also plays a big role in the middle of the day. Living alone or having long stretches of quiet can sometimes feel isolating, and that's when loneliness creeps in. A simple phone call with a friend, lunch with a neighbor, or even a short chat with the cashier at the grocery store can remind you that you're part of a larger web of people. Connection doesn't always have to be long or deep, it just needs to be genuine. For those who enjoy community activities, afternoons can be a perfect time to join a local class, attend a group exercise session, or volunteer. Giving a little of your time to others not only fills your day with purpose, but it also brings back a sense of belonging and value. One gentleman I know spends 2 afternoons a week helping children with reading at the library. He told me it gives him energy because he feels useful and connected, and the children brighten his day in return. As the afternoon winds down, think about how you want to bridge into the evening. This transition can be important because it sets the stage for rest and relaxation later. Maybe you prepare dinner slowly, turning it into a ritual rather than a chore. Cooking with fresh ingredients, listening to soft music, and taking your time can transform the simple act of making a meal into a calming and enjoyable part of your day. Others might enjoy having a creative hobby in the late afternoon, painting, knitting, woodworking, or even tending to plants. These activities soothe the mind, spark creativity, and give you a sense of accomplishment. They're not just pastimes, they're a way to express yourself and bring joy into your home. What matters most is that your midday and afternoon hours don't slip away unnoticed. They're a chance to nourish, move, connect, and create. When you use these hours thoughtfully, you set yourself up for evenings that feel peaceful rather than restless, content rather than empty. Now that we've explored how afternoons can bring balance and vitality, let's carry this gentle rhythm forward into the evenings, those precious hours that prepare you for rest, reflection, and another beautiful day ahead. As the day begins to ease into evening, something special happens. The light softens, the pace slows down, and there's a natural invitation to reflect and unwind. For many people over 70, this time of day can either feel like a gift of peace or a stretch of loneliness. The difference often comes down to how you choose to shape those evening hours. With a little thought and care, your evenings can become a time of comfort, connection, and gentle preparation for restful sleep. One of the most powerful things you can do in the evening is create a ritual that signals to your body and mind that it's time to wind down. This doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as dimming the lights, playing soft music, or making a warm cup of herbal tea. These small signals help the brain shift gears from the busy pace of the day into a calmer state, which makes it much easier to fall asleep later on. Another part of evening structure that makes a big difference is dinner. After 70, digestion slows down a bit, so lighter meals in the evening tend to work better. Think of dinners filled with vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy grains, but not so heavy that they weigh you down. A bowl of vegetable soup with a slice of whole grain bread, or grilled fish with a side of greens, can be just enough to satisfy without leaving you restless at night. And sharing this meal with someone, a spouse, a friend, or even a neighbor, can turn it into one of the most enjoyable moments of the day. After dinner, this is a wonderful time to nourish not just your body, but also your spirit. Maybe that means sitting down with a favorite book, journaling about your day, or working on a craft project that brings you joy. For some, it might mean watching a show or listening to a podcast that inspires laughter or learning. The key is to choose activities that leave you feeling calm and content, rather than overstimulated or unsettled. Evenings can also be a beautiful time for connection. A phone call to a loved one, a video chat with grandchildren, or a brief visit with a neighbor can lift your heart in ways that nothing else can. Loneliness often feels heaviest at night, but connection, even in small doses, has the power to ease that feeling and replace it with warmth. I once knew a woman in her 80s who made it a habit to call one family member or friend every evening. She said it was like putting a bow on the day, ending with love and kindness. Movement has its place here, too, though in a gentler form than earlier in the day. Stretching before bed, or practicing a few minutes of deep breathing, can relax your muscles and signal your nervous system to slow down. Some people enjoy light yoga or Tai Chi in the evening. Others simply sit quietly and practice gratitude, listing 3 things they're thankful for that day. These practices not only relax the body, they also nurture a sense of peace that carries into sleep. Speaking of sleep, perhaps the most important part of evening planning is preparing for rest. Good sleep is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, and yet it's something many people over 70 struggle with. Creating a consistent bedtime routine helps. Going to bed at roughly the same time each night trains your body's internal clock. Keeping the bedroom cool, dark, and quiet makes it easier to stay asleep. And setting aside screens, like phones or televisions, at least an hour before bed prevents the bright light from tricking your brain into thinking it's still daytime. There's also something deeply healing about closing the day with reflection. Before bed, consider asking yourself gentle questions. What went well today? What moments brought me joy? What can I look forward to tomorrow? This small habit shifts the focus away from worries or regrets and instead leaves you with a sense of gratitude and purpose. It's like tucking your mind into bed with kindness. When you wake up the next morning, this cycle begins again. And that's the beauty of creating structure in your days at 70 and beyond. It's not about rigid schedules or filling every minute with tasks. It's about crafting a rhythm that feels natural, nourishing, and joyful. Mornings that energize you, afternoons that keep you engaged and connected, evenings that bring peace, and nights that restore your body and mind. The truth is, the years after 70 don't have to be a time of decline or emptiness. They can be rich, vibrant, and full of meaning if you choose to shape your days with intention. Small actions, repeated daily, become powerful habits. And those habits create a life that feels balanced, purposeful, and happy. So if you've ever wondered how to make each day feel brighter and more fulfilling, the answer isn't in doing more, it's in doing the right things at the right times. It's in honoring your body with rest and movement, your mind with curiosity, and your spirit with connection and gratitude. And as you think about your own evenings tonight, remember this: happiness at 70 or 80 or 90 isn't something that suddenly arrives. It's something you build, one day at a time, with small, thoughtful choices. You already have everything you need to create days that feel satisfying and nights that bring peace. If this message speaks to you, I'd love to hear about the routines and habits that make your days brighter. Share them in the comments below. I know your ideas could inspire someone else who's watching. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more conversations like this. Here's to living your days with joy, your nights with peace, and your years with confidence and purpose. No matter your age, every day is a chance to create health and happiness, and it all starts with the way you plan the simple rhythm of your day.